Zeerboo battery arrived with all the stickers. What are they hiding in shipping? But the box arrived without any dings or dents. The box has a manual in it with Bluetooth. The manual is pretty useless. It's just a generic manual in English and German and gives the standard kind of warnings, and you just don't know if you can trust the specifications because the model number of the battery is never made reference. Lots of information about series and parallel operation. And it's obviously a generic manual for 12, 24, 36, 48 volt batteries. The chart here on the parameters, it does list up to 330 amp hours. But it doesn't say specifically what BMS is in the battery. The Bluetooth manual does tell you where to download the app, and has some troubleshooting. The only other thing in the box are the M8 bolts. Well, the first thing I noticed is that I paid for the 330 amp hour battery, and this one is marked 320. You can also see underneath there is another battery manufacturer, and Zeerboo just put their sticker over it. Off one of the labels that was covering up other labels, and figured out it's an Elefast 345-LY12V330AH battery. Looked it up on Amazon, and it matches the label that was covered up on the side of the battery. The terminals have plastic insulator plugs, so that's good. And quality control passed. We'll see. Initial charge, 13.17 volts. Getting the app going on Bluetooth requires you some trust in the Xiaoshang app, but you don't have to have an account in order for this to see the battery. And so according to the app, 52% state of charge, and you can see the voltage, 3.17, very close. And parameters, let's see, the temperature of the battery, I'm not sure why it's so warm. I guess it was sitting out in the hot truck for a while. And control, so you're not allowed permission. I have to look that up. But at least the app is there, and it looks like I'll be able to monitor charge and discharge. So I'm charging at 140 watts, 10.13 amps, and things are looking pretty matched here according to the meter. 133 watts, which leaves about 7 watts for the display and the monitor meter here. You can see 10 amps current. This one, 10 amps, 133 watts going in. going to take a while to charge this battery at 10 amps, but it's what I got right now. We're getting very close to full charge now with 4.8 volts, and you notice that the balance came on. That's good. And it looks like we now have, with the balance on, we have a voltage differential, which wasn't there before. So that's nice to see that it is balancing the cells, and the cells are pretty balanced. Hey, it looks like we've come up on a high voltage cutoff for one of the cells. Notice the balance is very good, and we have the cell over voltage protection light coming on. So I believe the battery is fully charged, and you'll notice that we put 199 amp hours into it. So that was 2.67 kilowatts. So the battery was less than 50%, which is what the app indicated when we got it. But it also hit 100% state of charge way before it was charged. Probably I put 30 amp hours into it beyond what the app's saying as 100%. So we're ready to start our discharge test now. Okay, we have started our discharge test, and we're pulling about 53 amps out, and we are charging, well, we're running the Bestech inverter at about 700 watts. And so with that kind of a load, you can see the app registering 700 watts of power, 53 amps of current. And the balance on those cells looks very good. I'm impressed. So we'll see how long this runs and how many amp hours we can pull out of this battery. Okay, we're at 50% state of charge with 169 amp hours. That translates into 328. So hopefully we'll get rated capacity out of this. We are rapidly coming to shutdown, and you can see we've got 335 amp hours, 4.29 kilowatts in this battery. You can see the voltage differential is now at 43 millivolts, and it shut down the inverter just now. So let's call it 335, and that's pretty good. 5 amp hours above. I would have hoped for a little bit more. The BMS did not get a chance to shut down. The voltage is just too low for the inverter. So, saying we have 1% left, 2 amp hours, but let's call it 335 and 4.3 kilowatt hours. I'm impressed. The battery doesn't do too bad. Okay, here we are with 100% state of charge, and I have this battery now hooked up to my off-grid garage system that has 3 big batteries in parallel, running a 2000 watt inverter and charging a Nissan Leaf. So we're going to do the temperature test and the BMS test now. Running at 1500 watts, 120 amps. Charging the car, and we'll let it go for a few minutes and see what the temperature is. It's been running a few minutes now, and this negative terminal is really warm, but I do have undersized cables into the Anderson, so I'm not sure if the negative is loose inside, but you can see the top of the battery is not getting too hot. No hot spots on the battery, and the positive looks pretty good. So I would say this thing will deliver 200 amps. Making sure your connectors are properly sized.